want to first of all just thank everybody who has contacted me, or be it via comment, email, private message. Just the support, man, is just overwhelming, and in the best possible way, and I appreciate it. Reaching out, telling me not to give up, not to stop. Failing my CDL test twice isn't the end of the world, and I know that. Better men than me or women have failed more. Or some people take 2 times in a row and they can't get past the pre-trip. I've heard various stories. Hell, I've heard stories about guys that have their CDL now that, yeah, they may have passed the first time, but they've had their CDL for 20 years or more, and when they took their test back in the day, they had to do nothing. I've heard at least 3 stories where they have said, somebody has told me, back when I took my test, all I had to do was just straight line back, or I just had to take the road test, and the guy gave me just to go ahead and said, you seem good enough to me. Something like that, something just basic and simple, and I realized that the regulations weren't nearly as tight back then as they are now. But point being, just because they got their CDL first run doesn't necessarily mean they were better than me or more prepared than I am now. And I think you need to hear this. If you're taking your CDL now, or have taken it and failed, just don't let it get you down. It got me down the first time. It really got me down the first time. The second time, I realized that there was more things at play than just me not knowing how to back. And you can't. It doesn't mean you got to necessarily turn the blame on somebody else, but you can't beat yourself up. Otherwise, you're never going to get back out there. So I got a couple things in the works right now to figure out. I have figured it out, but I had to wait until today because the holiday, Thursday, Friday, I had to wait until today to finalize the next steps of what it's going to take for me to get back on the road. Not in trouble. By any means am I in trouble. As I mentioned, I spoke with the director of training last week, and the director of training for Millis last week, and him and I are on the same page. He knows what's going on. He knows that my training is over. Essentially, my training's over. I'm at about 16,000 miles or so with my trainer, and he's on vacation right now. Much needed vacation. He's been out on the road pretty much since March, and then when he gets back in the truck, he's just going to be taking on a new student, because I'm pretty much done, and all I got to do is get my CDL. So that's going to be that. The whole point of this video is just don't let it get you down. If you haven't got your CDL, if you're trying to get your CDL and can't, if you're doing everything you can that you seem like you just can't do it right, you're failing multiple times, and I would have done a video like this if I'd have passed the first time, because I know how much this stuff can get in your head. So don't let it get in your head. This is actually one video of kind of like one of two. I didn't want to make one video run too long, but I wanted to talk about why I'm not giving up. I mean, other than just I love trucking, I think it's just awesome, just a fun, exciting career. But I'm going to do a separate video of why I'm not giving up on truck driving. And so you can watch that one, and I'll probably do that right here in the truck. I'm headed to get my oil changed right now. if I haven't mentioned that. And it's about a 40-minute drive, so this is going to be one of those videos that, or one of those days that I do just 2 videos back to back in the same place, really. If I get past this asshole that's got something to prove here. So it sounds like he's got coffee cans strapped to his mufflers. Possibly some homemade exhaust work. Anyway, bottom line is, don't give up. You feel like you're going to give up on it? Feel like it's too hard? Feel like the back end is too difficult? Especially if you're in an alley dock state, because man, that alley dock is a bitch, and I know it. Give me a shout. We'll talk about it. You know, whatever I can do to be of assistance, even though I haven't got mine. I'd love to talk you through whatever help you may need. And then after I get mine, I mean, I want to continue being a resource for anybody who's getting into this business. So, anyways, just remember that. In the meantime, drive on, driver. Y'all stay safe out there.